Now, the question arises that what is the use of watching all of your videos, because we are here to learn algo trading, not Python. Today, we will be creating a real Python algo trading bot. Okay, now comes the very interesting part, which is to fetch the prices from the live exchange. So here what we will do, we'll take the help of Yahoo Finance. So you can see here, it is running in every 2 seconds and it will check and it will like say the signal hold and then remaining balance it will show. So let's start now. Welcome back to the day 14th of 100 days of hell with Python algo trading. Today, we will be completing 2 weeks. I really appreciate your consistency and efforts in watching these videos and commenting that where you need improvement. And so thank you so much for that. And I'm pretty much sure that we will be achieving this 100 days of humongous task for sure. And with that being said, we have also covered almost all the basic topics of Python, like Python operator, conditional statements, loops, then list, tuples, sets, dictionaries, and we were also able to pull off the most important topic, that is object-oriented programming. Now, the question arises that what is the use of watching all of your videos, because we are here to learn algo trading, not Python. For Python, we already have multiple playlists on YouTube and we can learn from those. Yeah, absolutely correct. I agree with you on that. But my answer for your question is that, as we always say, the devil is in the details. Or we can say the real fun is in the fundamentals. So, with all those basics and fundamentals we have learned so far in those 2 weeks, today we will be creating a real Python algo trading bot. It will be very simple, but it will be covering which we have covered in the previous 2 weeks. And you will also understand that why the fundamentals are essential in algo trading. Why you should be having a strong hold on your basics and fundamentals. You will realize that after seeing this video. And you will realize that what we can achieve with just the help of basics of Python, and then you can imagine that what we can achieve when we have covered all the advanced topics. So without a further ado, let's get started. So the plan of action is that first we'll code the whole algo trading bot, and then in the end I'll show you line by line that at which line we have used which type of topic we have covered in the previous sessions. So in that way you will be able to revise whole the topics which we have studied earlier, and after that if you have any questions you can let us know in the comments, or you can connect with us on any social media platform like Discord, Telegram, and we'll be happy to help you. So let's start now. So before we start coding, let me quickly explain you what is our objective and what outcome we are expecting here. So the objective here is to create full-fledged algo trading bot. So algo trading bot, which performs these functions. First, to fetch live market data. So to fetch live market data, and second is generate trading signals based on a strategy, right? Based on a strategy. And the final step is to execute trades in a simulated environment, right? So I'll just write short. So this is our objective. And the outcome we are expecting here is, the first is to understand structure and functionality of the algo trading bot, right? So you can just write structure, and second is functionality, correct? Which involves live data fetching. So you can write live data fetching, then strategy implementation, and last is to execute trades. We can write execute trades. So that is the objective and outcome we are expecting here, right? So now let me quickly explain you the execution flow of this algo trading bot. So the first thing will be to set up and installation. So in this step, we will prepare the environment and all the libraries which we need here. So we'll perform this step. The second will be fetching live market data, right? So we can write like. Then the next is implementing trading strategies, right? So we can write. And the next will be, we will simulate the trading environment. So simulate trading environment, right? Then what we can do, we can integrate different components, right? Different components. So what we will be doing, we will be creating multiple classes. So how we can integrate all those classes and different kind of methods and functions so we can achieve a single function from where we can run our algo trading bot, right? This step will cover that. Then the last will be how we can run our trading bot. So basically these 6 steps run our trading bot. So basically we'll be following these 6 steps, and now let's start coding. Okay, so what you can do here, first you watch the whole video in one go, and in the next step you watch it again, but this time you are also coding with the video. So that's how you can learn the concepts very faster. So let's get started with the coding. So what we will do, we'll write the code step by step, and don't worry if you don't understand anything. I'll explain the whole code again on the notepad. So first of all, we write a base class. So class, and let's give it the name my trading strategy. Then here we define a constructor, self and name. This is the name of the strategy. So we have passed the parameter as a name. Then what we'll do, we'll make it private. And why we make private? We have learned that in the object oriented programming, right? To implement the encapsulation, correct? So name, so that this cannot be changed outside of the class, right? Then what we'll do, we'll define a method with the name generate signal. And what it will do, we are defining to get it override, right? So what we'll write here, we'll just print that this method is intended to be overridden, right? And here we can give a parameter as, let's say, price data, correct? And what it will return, in case if it gets executed, it will return hold. Hold means like when we are trying to execute any trade, so we have 2 options, buy and sell. But if somehow this gets executed, means it will print out that we should hold the trade. And why we are defining here this method? Because as we have understood in the object-oriented programming in polymorphism, that whenever we want to instruct any other classes, that you should be enforcing security, or you should be enforcing this kind of rule, or let's say we want to force them to apply some kind of rules. So here what we are doing, we are asking that you should create this method in your future classes, and the name of the method should be generate signal and parameter should be price data, right? And now what we'll do, we'll define a getter method, right? So how we can do that? Define name self, and we can simply return the self dot name, and yeah, that's it. And why we are doing this? Because we have made this private. So in order to make it easy and in order to enforce security, we are creating this getter method, right? So let's try this, and it says invalid syntax. So okay, we have to remove this. Now it's fine, and we'll write like this. Okay, so let's create an object for this class. So let's give my base object, because this is the base class. So we'll create with the name and my trading strategy, and we'll provide the name. So let's say, as usual, our awesome strategy, right? So when we hit shift enter, and now what we can do, we can call this method my generate signal. So my base obj, then generate signal, and when we hit shift enter, it says missing one required positional argument, price data. Okay, we'll just give anything here. Let's say 1, 2, and it says this method is intended to be overridden and hold. So for now it is working fine. And let's check for this also, name. So my base object and dot name and shift enter. So it says me awesome strategy. So for now it is working fine, and we don't want this method to be executed because we want that this method should be overridden in the future classes, right? And the reason behind that is we want to make sure that the future classes implement this particular method with the same name, right? And if you are having any confusion, please watch the previous videos of object-oriented programming and you will get to know. And still you having doubt, please let me know in the comments. I will be happy to answer that. Okay, now we have already tested this. It's working fine. So I'll just add another cell here. And now we'll proceed with the next class, and we can give that the name as class. Let's say my SMA, right? SMA trading strategy. And now what we will do here, we will just inherit the base class, right? We have inherited this class here. And one more thing I would like to do, that when we want to get this name with this getter method, we have to write name and parenthesis, right? So it means we are calling a method. But what if I want that the public should not able to know whether we have a getter method inside or an attribute? So what we can do, instead of this, I'll just write here decorator, and don't worry, we'll read the decorators after 1 or 2 classes. So don't worry about that. I'll just add a decorator with the name property, right? And now when I try to access this, I can simply remove this. And when I hit shift enter, you can see that we have the name awesome strategy. Now you don't need to call this with the function or method name. You can simply call this as an attribute name. So that's how you can use this decorator, and we'll read about it shortly. Okay, let's again start with the second class. So, and here we have created new class, my SMA trading strategy, and we have also inherited this base class here. Now what we'll do here, I'll define a constructor. So def init and again self. And now you think and let me know that while creating a simple moving average trading strategy, what things we need, right? So I think short window and long window, right? So short window and long window. Let me explain you this also. Just give me a minute. What we will do. So what I did here, I randomly searched simple moving average, and let me show you what it is. So let's say we have this, and let me zoom it out a little bit. So hope you are able to see this. So you can see here we have this chart, and inside this chart we have 2 lines. One is blue and another is red. Let's say I define this blue line as short window. Short window and long window means I want to calculate 2 average. Short window, let's say for 3 bars, means it will calculate the previous 3 bars average. So let's say 1, 2, 3, and it will display here. Correct? That is the short window. And for the long window, let's say we have 5 bars. So it will calculate the previous 5 bars, means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it will display that here. And when it happens continuously, it will create a line, right? So that is the short window and long window. And when we have the average of that, so it becomes the short moving average, and this one becomes the long moving. It becomes the short moving average, blue line, and this red line becomes the long moving average, right? So sometimes what happens, if the recent price is higher, then this short moving average becomes greater than the long moving average. And when the recent prices are like dropping, going down, then what happens, the short moving average is less than the long moving average. So that's the basic idea behind this. So while creating this simple moving average trading strategy, we definitely want the short window and long window, right? Now again, what we want, we have already inherited this base class. So we want to initialize this constructor. So how we can do that? With the help of super keyword. We have understood that already, right? So I'll write super, then dot, and again init self. And here also we can provide the name, like we can give the name parameter also, or here we can provide the name also. Like we will be having multiple strategies, one for SMA, one for Bollinger Band. So here I can give the name as, let's say, my SMA trading strategy, and okay. And again, what we can do here, we can make these parameters as private. So how we can do that? Self dot short window is equals to short window, and self dot long window is equals to long window. We have made these 2 variables as private because we don't want that anyone can change the value of these from outside the class, right? If we have made these attributes as private, then we also have to add getter method so that anybody can access easily. So we can do that, right? So I'll add another 2 getter method for these also. So what I'll do, I'll just copy and paste this, right? So I'll go ahead and copy and paste 2 times. And now I can quickly change this one, short window. I can take this short window, and here also short window, and long window, and here also long window. Here we have 2 options. The one is we can create a simple getter method, which we have done previously. But if you want to make like this, that the user doesn't know that whether this is the attribute or a method. So what we can do, we can add this decorator with the name property, and this will make this getter method behave like an attribute, right? So and this is done. Now what we can do, okay, now let's create a method to calculate the short and long moving average, and then on the basis of that, it will return some signals like sell, buy, or hold. So what we'll do, we'll create a method with the name def, and we can give the name as generate signal. Because here in the base class, we have already mentioned that we need to create a method with the name generate signal, and that should override this signal. So we'll create with the same name, generate signal, signal, and here we can give the same data like self and price. Okay, let me explain you one more thing. What is the price data? The price is what we get from the exchange. Like when we are creating the bot and we are fetching some price from the exchange, so it will return us some value. And what we can do, we can use that price however we want. We can make that a list, we can make that a dictionary, and we can modify that value as per our requirement. So here what we will do, when we try to fetch the price from the exchange, we'll make that as a list. So just keep in that mind for now. So you can think that this price data will be the price fetched from the exchange, right? Okay. In this method, what we will do, we'll apply a condition, and what the condition will be, if the length of price data, and inside that, what we can write, negative of the long window, right? So for long window, we have to use this as self, right? So long window, and then the indexing, correct? If that is less than the long window, we have to use this again, self, right? Then what it will do, it will return, okay, we have to use this inside, yeah, then it will return hold. Now let me explain you how this line is working here. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just copy this line from here and paste it somewhere else. So let's go to the next cell. Let me explain you here. So as I explained you already, that this price data will be the price fetched from the exchange, and that will be converted to a list. So let's say, for example, we have, for now, just assume that price data is equals to a list, and inside that list we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And let's say, let's make it 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 and 10, correct? So what we are doing here at this place, we have given two windows, short window and long window. Means we are calculating the moving average for short window and long window. And let's say we have given short window as 3 and long window as 5. And I have explained you already what is this. Let me again tell you. Okay, let's open the chart again. So let's say the short window is these 3 bars, right? These 3 bars. And here, let me zoom it again. So in the example, what we are asking, that short window will be the 3 and long window will be the 5. So short window means for these 3 bars, 1, 2, 3, and long window will be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars. And we have fetched the price data for 10 bars. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So until here, we have the price data. So if the price data is less than the 5, then it will not work, right? It will not be able to calculate the short moving average, and it will return a hold. So that was happening here. Let me again explain you. So what is happening here, I'll remove this for now, self here, and this also. Okay. So we have this price window. As window, we want to calculate is 3 and long window is 5. So if this price data, currently we have the length is 10, right? So when we try to check the length of this, let's say length of this will be, length of price data will be 10, right? Because we have 10 items in this list. So let's say if the length of this window, because here it was 5, so I'll write it 5, right? And then again, here it is 5, right? Long window. Now let's try to print this out. So what I'll do, I'll print this, and it says false. Why? Because we know that -5 means we have already understood this in the list part. So it is the negative indexing. So -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will start from here and it will try to calculate this. Let's say if somehow we are not able to fetch the data and we just got the last 4 bars, but we want to calculate the moving average for 5 bars. So in that case, now the length becomes 4. When I hit shift enter, the length is 4 and it becomes true. So means it will not be able to calculate and it will return a hold signal, correct? So that is the meaning of this code. I tried my best to explain you, and if you still have any issue, you can let me know, okay? Then after that, if this condition is not true, then what will happen? I'll write the code for short average. So short average is equals to sum of the price data, and we can say Let me copy and paste this price data of this here. And for short, it will be short window and divided by the L window. So here it will be self.L window. And similarly for the long average, what will happen? We just change from short to long, and here also will change from S to L, and it will be short here, right? Short window. So I guess it is fine. Okay, if you want me to explain this also, I can do that quickly. So what is happening here? Let's say I'll add again these values 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? So 1 to 10. And what we are doing here, we are calculating the short average, right? So I'll add here this formula and I'll remove this self for now. Self, and here also self will be removed, right? So this is the average of the short window. How? Because this is a list, right? So it starts from the S window, and S window we have given as 3. So it will start from here 8, 9, 10. It will do the sum of 8, 9, 10. Then it will divide by 3. So 10 plus 9, 19 plus 8, 27. Divide by 3 will be 9. So when I hit shift enter, it gives me 9. Again, if I want to check the long moving average, so what I'll do, I'll just change this window to L, and here also it will be L. So now it will calculate the last 5 prices because we have negative indexing here. So last 5 prices and divide by 5. So when we hit shift enter, we get 8. So here the short moving average is greater than the long moving average, right? So let's write the code here. So what will happen? We give another condition. If short average is greater than the long average, then what we will do? We'll return a buy, right? So a buy, and let me copy and paste this code again, and again we can give. Okay, so here I'll apply elif and here else, correct, and I'll remove this from the last, and here I'll change the value and it will be sell here, and in the last it will be hold. Okay, let me explain you what is happening here. If short average is greater than the long average, it will return a signal with the buy string. If short average is less than the long average, it will return a sell signal. If nothing is true in both the conditions, it will return a hold. Means that is an invalid signal. Let me show you in the chart. Let's say this blue line is the short moving average and this red line is the long moving average. And because we have asked the size of window is 3 in the short and 5 in the long. So here you can see that the short moving average is greater than the long moving average. So it will give a buy signal. And here the long moving average is greater than the short moving average. So it will return a sell signal. At this place, both are equal. So it will return a hold signal that time, because it cannot decide whether to go for a sell trade or a buy trade. So that was the basic idea behind that. Okay, let me again open the, okay. Now what we can do, I'll just hit shift enter. Let's try to create an object for this class. So what I'll do here, I'll just comment out the previous one and I'll create a new object. Let's say with the name my or obj strategy, right? Obj strategy is equals to my SMA trading strategy. And here we have to pass the arguments as the short window and long window. So I'll give, let's say 3 and 5, correct? And when I hit shift enter, it says me super object has no attribute my trading strategy in it. Why? Okay, here we forgot this. So we have to add underscore. And when I hit shift enter, okay, now it's working fine. Now, as per the inheritance concept, what should be happening here? This object should be able to access all the public attributes and public methods of this class as well as this class, right? So I try to access obj strategy dot. So I can see the generate signal, which is fine. Al window, name, and as window, correct? So what I'll do, I'll access this generate signal, and here we know that we have to provide an argument of the price data. So for now, we have not fetched the prices from the exchange. So what I'll do, I'll just give a demo price here. So I'll provide this one, this list when I hit shift enter, it gives me a buy signal, right? Because we have seen that this short moving average is greater than the long moving average, correct? So it is working fine. And again, if I want to check these methods with the decorator, so what I can do, I can just give this name of this function or name of this object. So obj strategy dot L window, and I can also give the obj strategy dot short window, right? So when I hit shift enter, it should give me both. I'll just print because in notebook we have to print in order to get all the values. So print, yes, we are getting correct values for both the long and short, and also we can check for the name. So obj strategy dot name, right? What is the name? Name is this one, right? Because here we have already given a, so ideally we should be able to access this also, right? This method also. So when I try to hit shift enter here, so it's, yeah, it is working fine. So my SMA trading strategy means so far both these classes are working fine, this base class and this my SMA trading strategy class, and this class is inheriting the base class. So for now I think we should be good to go. And if you still have any doubt, please watch the video again, and I'm sure that you will be able to understand, because we are explaining each and everything from very basic, right? And you will understand the importance of this basic in future when we learn AI trading, the machine learning trading, and that time you will get to know that how important it is, right? So let's proceed with the next class. Now what we need a class which is able to like record these details, which trade happened at which time. So we can say that a trade management class, right? So what I'll do, I'll just copy and paste these things from here, and I'll add here for now, and here we'll write our new class. So now let's write the class. So class, and give it the name my trade, and now define a constructor, and here. So now you think and let me know that in order to manage the trades, what kind of parameters we need. So first, self, of course we need that. Then we need a strategy name, right? We should be able to know that this trade was taken with the help of the strategy. So I'll write strategy name. Then again, we should be able to know at which price this trade was taken, right? So price, and we should also have a signal that whether this was a buy signal or a sell signal. So I'll write signal, and also at which price, right? So I'll hit shift enter. Then what I'll do, I'll again make all these data private as per the object oriented programming concept. So self dot strategy name and strategy name, again self dot signal is equals to signal, and self dot price is equals to price, right? Now we'll create an execute method. So define, and we'll give it the name execute self as usual. Then it doesn't need anything for now, I guess. So what it will do, it will just print a formatted string, and what it can print, executed. It can be like sell or buy. So we'll give this signal here, executed, let's say buy trade. So I'll write buy trade, then with the strategy, and I'll write the name of the strategy. So it will be this, right? And again at the price, and we can give this attribute here, right? So we have to keep this in the function, right? And actually it will be not the signal, it will be price. And in fact, it will not be the price, it will be the amount, right? For now, we don't need the price. So I'll just write the amount here, and I'll change this to also amount, and here also it will be amount. We can write here like with amount, and we can also add like timestamp, right? It's also very important. We should be able to know that when this trade happened. So for that, what we can do, we can write here self dot timestamp, and what it will be. It will be, for this we have to import a library. And how we can do that? You can just go on the top and you can write from date time. Actually it's a markdown, so I have to add self for code. From date time import date time, right? And just run this cell. Okay, so moving forward, when we learn the pandas and numpy, all those libraries, we always need to use syntax like this, like the name of the module and the name of the method or function inside the module, right? So here we have a module with the name datetime, and inside that we have a method with the name, or you can say class with the name datetime, right? So what we can write here, datetime dot now and this. So what it will print out? It will print out the current time. Let me show you with the help of an example. So when I print here, it shows me the current time. So it is like 3:59 current time, right? The current time it shows, and this will be the timestamp of that time. So it will stored in timestamp. So we can add one more thing here at the time, and here we can pass self dot timestamp, right? Let me copy and paste here. Yeah. Okay. Then what we can do? Yeah, we are good to go. What else we can do? Yeah, we can also make these attributes as the same, like with the help of decorator, we can make this accessible for the outside public. So what we'll do, I'll just copy and paste these decorators quickly and paste here. So, and again, 4, because we have 4 here. So first is the strategy name. So I'll change these values to strategy, and here also strategy. And again, we have signal. So I'll change it to signal, and again signal. Now we have the amount. So I'll change it to amount, and again amount here. And the last one is the timestamp. So I'll just copy from here, timestamp, and I'll change here the timestamp. Okay, I think now we are good to go. So I'll just hit shift enter, and it works perfectly. Okay, now let's quickly test this class. So first I'll just test these methods. So I'll call this like a attribute. So what I'll do, I'll first comment out these, and let me call the strategy first. So I'll create the object obj my trade. Okay, my trade, and here I have to pass strategy name, correct? Name. I'll show you what I'm doing here. It's now it becomes interesting, the concepts of object oriented programming. Let me show you. Let me first complete this. Then we have the signal, right? So signal, and next we have the amount. So amount we can give here for now, let's say 10,000. So now we need the strategy name here, but we know that in the previous class we already have a strategy name, and we need that only. So how we can access this and we can pass to this object? What we can do, as we have already created the object for this class, so I can just pass the name of object and then the name of this method, right? So what I'll do here, I'll just uncomment here. Okay, actually here. So I'll copy and paste this here, correct? And for now, let me comment out all these, because we just want this first, right? So the object of this class should be created, and with the help of that object we can call this, because this class has been inherited to this one. So name of object dot name will give us the strategy name. So let's test this. So first what we will do, we'll test here. Okay, before that, so we know that this is the name of strategy, right? Object name, and then when I give dot name, it gives me the strategy name. Yeah, it is working fine. So what we can do, but we need here, right, at this place. So for that I can give here like a different name for now, strategy name, and I keep here, right? Again, for signal, what we can do, we know that signal is existing in this class, right? The my smart trading strategy, and we have already created the object of this class. So what we can do, the object name, and then we can call this method here. So here what we can do, I'll write here signal is equals to obj dot, let me copy here, obj strategy dot execute. It should work actually, and we'll see what happens. Not execute, actually this the generate signal. So we have to pass the price data also here. So I'll just copy here and I'll paste here, and then we can give the demo data for now. So let's say 1 2 3 4 5, right? So when I hit shift enter, oh, it worked fine. Okay, means we are able to create the object of this class and with the help of the object of other classes, right? So now we are able to create the object of this class with the help of passing the argument as an object from the other classes, right? The concept of object-oriented programming. You can refer the previous video for more details. And also I'll explain you in the after this session. So the signal. So now we want to signal. So what we'll do, we'll call this function here. So we have done that. Okay. And now write obj trade and dot. I would like to run this, right? We want to know that what is the signal now, the buy, sell or hold. So no. Actually, obj my trade. Yeah, we want to call this one. And here we do not have any parameter. We can just call this with the help of object and the name of the method. So dot and execute. So when I run this, yeah, it shows me executed by trade with the strategy, my SMA trading strategy with amount, this one, at the time, which was here, this timestamp from this timestamp library. And yeah, now you can see the flexibility and power of the Python with the help of object-oriented programming. And so far, we have just done the basics. Imagine what we can achieve once we have covered all the advanced topics. Then we'll move to the AI trading and then machine learning trading. So you can imagine the possibilities with the Python trading, right? So it is working fine. For now, what we can do, we have already tested this or not. We can test these also, right? The strategy name, signal, amount, and timestamp. So let's do it. What we'll do, I'll just obj trade, and here I would like to print all the values. So first, what I'll do, I'll write print, and inside that signal, and then the strategy name, and then we have signal, strategy name, then amount and timestamp. So this will be the amount, and next is we have the timestamp. Please refer the previous video if you are having any issue. So when I hit shift enter, it gives me all the things perfectly. So for now, all things are working perfectly fine. Means we have three classes here. One is my trade class. Above we have my SMA trading strategy class, and above that we have a base class, and all are working fine for now. Now the interesting thing. Now we will be fetching the data from the exchange with the help of an API. So we will discuss API separately in a very deep style as we do always. But for now, what we will do, instead of fetching the data from real API, we'll just have a simulated data, right, for now. But don't worry, we'll definitely learn this as we grow in advanced levels. For now, we'll just simulate that process of fetching the prices from the exchange. So let me create another class. So let's create another class for the mock trading API. So what I'll do, I'll just go here, and for now, I'll just clear all these. Okay, it is not needed right now. I'll just hit enter. And for this, we can keep. It might be used for further testing. So I'll just add here. Let me remove this. Okay. So this will be the third class for the mock trading API. So I'll just give a comment, mock trading API. I'll also add an explanation for all these classes in the GitHub repository. You can refer that, right? So you just pause the video and think that what kind of parameters we need when we interact with the any exchange, right? Let's say when we interact with any exchange, what kind of things we need to know, right? So first of all, we want to check that whether our account has any balance or not, because if we don't have any balance, we won't be able to execute any trades, right? Again, let's say if we have the balance, then we want to tell the exchange that whether I want to buy anything or sell anything, right? So means we can say trade. So first is balance, second is trade, and then we also want to tell that at which price I want to execute any trade, whether it's buy or sell. So while creating this class, what I'll do, I'll write a class mock trading API, and then as usual we'll create the constructor, and inside that we'll pass self and the balance, right, as a parameter. Then what we will do, we'll make it private. So balance is equals to balance. And now I want to create another method with the name place order, right? So place order, and inside that I have self, then I have trade, and we have the price. So this trade is the type of trade, whether it's buy or sell. And from where we will get this? We'll get this from this class, right? This will give us whether we should be buying or selling any asset. So now I want the object of this should be passed as an argument to that class. So in that also particularly, I want this method generate signal, so it can pass us the buy, sell or hold signal, right? So what I will do, we have already created the object of this class, right? The my trading strategy. So we have the object here, this one, object strategy, right? And so what I can do here, for now, I can like just think that the name of this object is trade only, right? So I'll just change it here. These are just the like the testing data, so don't take it the seriously. Okay, just think that we have created the object with the name trade. What I'll do here, and then we are passing here and this as a parameter, right? So what I'll do here, trade dot signal, right? If I write like this trade dot signal, I get some return value, right? It can be buy, sell or hold. So let's test this also. So what I'll do here, I write here trade, and let me comment out all the other things and just focus on the present. Okay, and now I write trade dot signal, right? It says, oh, it is my generate signal, not signal. It is, why it is not giving? Okay, it is just generate signal. So I'll go here and write here dot generate signal, right? And if we need to pass anything here or not, when we check, yes, we can pass the price data. So for now, we'll just pass here. We can pass here like any data. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I hit shift enter, it gives me a signal, right? Buy. And let's say if I change it to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it gives me sell signal, right? Why? Because now the short moving average is less than the long moving average. So now we can say that when we call this method, it will return as a string with the sell, trade or hold value, right? So while interacting with the exchange, we can write a condition here that if the trade signal is equal to buy, then what should happen? We have this balance, right? So what we will do, so when we execute any buy trade, some amount will be deducted from our account. So self dot balance underscore balance. Let me copy and paste this itself here. Copy and paste. Negative equals to the trade dot amount multiplied by price, right? Because when you create the object of this class, we can also access this amount attribute with the help of this getter method, right? So trade dot amount multiplied by price. So here you can see that we have passed an object as parameter here, and then we are using that object in the normal functions, right? So it will execute. So it will detect the amount. Then what it will print? It will print out that formatted string executed, or we can say placed, right? So placed by trade at the price. So we can give the variable price, and we can also return the remaining balance, right? So remaining balance as, and then we can pass here as an variable here. So it will return the remaining balance, correct? And if elif, and also we have to make sure that while executing the buy trade, the amount should be, and the balance should be greater than or at least equal to the total amount of the trade, right? Let's say you have only $1,000 in your account and you are trying to execute a trade worth 10,000. Then if you don't apply this condition, the trade will be executed and your account will be shown with a larger amount, even if you don't have balance in your account. So we should be applying this condition also here. And for the sale, what we can do, we can just give here the sell elif, the string is sell, then we can like copy and paste these here, and we can make it positive, because when we sell any asset, the amount gets credited in our account, so it will be added with the plus. And we can say here placed a sell trade at the price and remaining balance is whatever the amount you have been credited, right? And one more thing we can do here is else condition. If both the conditions doesn't meet, then what we can print here, that it might be a case where whether the signal is incorrect or invalid, or you do not have sufficient balance in your account to execute the trade. So we can write here insufficient balance, or you can write invalid signal, correct? So now again, one more thing, that you can also return this attribute with the help of the getter and the decorator. So I'll write here, and I'll change this to balance, and here also balance. Now I think we are good to go. So when I hit shift enter, and when we test this, so what we can do, we can create an object for this class. So let's say we create object of obj mock API and name of the class, and we have to pass the trade signal here. So for that, what we can do, we have to use the signal here, right? So what we can do, I can just copy and paste these here, and let's say I will give it the name as signal for now. So, and we have to also pass the price. So signal, I can give here signal, and price, let's say I want to give 1000. And here, if anything else is required, trade.amount also required. So for trade.amount, okay, when we hit shift enter, it says takes 2 positional arguments but 3 were given. We call this, okay, it takes only 1. So for now, what we'll do, we'll just give the mock balance. So I'll pass 10,000 here, and when I hit shift enter, it's run perfectly fine. Now we try to call this method here. What I can do, I can just, and then dot place order. Now we can pass some arguments, that is a trade and price. So for trade, we can pass this signal here, and price, let's say I'll give 1000, right? So when I hit shift enter, it says me str object has no attribute signal. Okay, for now what we do, just for testing, I'll just pass this whole object here, and now when I hit shift enter, it says str object has no attribute signal. Okay, actually we just need to pass this trade here, and rest it will be managed automatically. So when I hit shift enter, it says my trading strategy has no attribute signal. Okay, actually, okay, yeah, we have to create the object of this my trade for that. So what I'll do here, I'll create another object. Let's say it is trade one. Then for my trade, I'll create another. So I change it to trade one, and for that, I'll create another object. Let's say trade two, and that my trade. And for that, what we are doing, we have to pass the strategy name, signal, and amount, right? Okay, I'll change it to trade two, and now it is working. Yeah. So what we are doing here, trade one object is the object of the second class, which is this my trading strategy, right? My SMA trading strategy, and trade two is the object of this class. Now we are calling this function, right? Place order, and inside that we are passing an argument trade, which is another object of this class. So here that is trade two. For now, we are just testing. So here for now, we are just passing some random values and we are trying to test whether our code is correct or not. So for now, it is working fine and we can say it is correct, right? This is also fine. So next we create another class. So now we have multiple classes. First is the base class with the name my trading strategy. Next we have a class my SMA trading strategy, and which is inheriting from the base class. Then we have my trade, which interact with the exchange, right? And then we have the mock trading API. So no, actually this my trade just keeps a record of the trades, and this mock trading API interacts with the exchange, right? Now we need another class which should be able to integrate all the above classes, and we can say that it should be able to give us a smooth interface, right? So what we can do, let's write the class my trading system, and here what we can do, we can define the constructor function here. So define init, and here self. Now you pause the video and think that what kind of parameters we need here. So first we need the object of this API, right? So we can pass the object of API, let's say API, and what the object of this API class will return us. It can return us the balance, it can return the place order status, right? And yeah, these two things we can get from this API class. Again, we need the object of this, let's say this strategy class, right? So it can give us the signals buy, sell, or hold. So I'll write here the strategy. So let's say this is the object of this strategy class. So strategy, and then we need a symbol, right? That symbol means on which kind of asset we want to perform that trade. So let's say Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, BTC, Ethereum, right? So we don't need here. Okay. Now it is running a little bit slow actually. I don't know why. Okay. Now what we can do, we can make these parameters or attributes as private. So let's do that quickly. Self.api is equals to API. Then self.strategy is equals to strategy. Then self.symbol is equal to symbol. Correct? Okay, now comes the very interesting part, which is to fetch the prices from the live exchange. So here what we will do, we'll take the help of Yahoo Finance. Means Yahoo provides the price data, so we can use that, and let me show you how. So what we'll do here, I'll add here import Y Finance as YF, right? Y Finance is the library and we are importing that as YF. Don't worry about these. We'll discuss all these in the future lectures. For now, just think that this is a kind of library from the Yahoo and we are importing that, and we'll use that for the data fetching, right? So how we can fetch the data with the help of that. Now what we can do here, we can define another method. So define fetch price data, and here we can give self, and here what we can do, we can write like data is equals to YF dot download, and in that we have few parameters. So let's say the first is symbol, and we give it as this one. I'll just explain you, don't worry about this. Okay, self dot symbol. Then we have the period, which is let's say 1 day, and then we have the interval, right? So interval which is, let's say, 1 minute. Okay, let me show you why we are writing like this. Because this is decided by the Yahoo that if you want to fetch the data, the price data from my source, you have to write like this. And this is my function, and you have to pass some arguments like this. Then only you will be able to access the data. So let me show you first how it works. What we'll do, we'll quickly go to the Google, and you can write here. This is the Y Finance PyPy. So when you go here, you can open any article, you will get a lot of information, right? So here is the official page. So you can see here that you have to import Y Finance as YF. Then you have multiple options. So let me show you what these are. Yeah, you can see here that here we have to provide the ticker. So ticker, it can be like Apple, Microsoft, anything. Then you have to also provide the period. It can be 1 day, 1 month, 1 year. And then we have the interval between the bars. So it can be 1 minute, 5 minute, and 1 hour. You can like just read this. I'll just give the link this in the description. You can read more. Moreover, we'll read about all these things in future methods. For now, we are just creating a very basic bot with the help of just the object oriented programming. So just like understand this and you get my point, right? So let me open the code and okay, let me first quickly explain you this one, right? How this works. So let me quickly copy and paste this here. And here you can see that we have symbol equals to self.symbol. So actually here you have to change this to tickers. And now when you hit shift enter, for the sake of this example, we'll change it to Apple. We are directly passing the parameter here for Apple. And now when we hit shift enter, working. Now we try to access the data, and when we hit shift enter, it displays this, and this is known as the data frame, right? So what we can do here, we can access only this table. So for that, what we can do, we can write only the column name. So close, and when we hit shift enter, it will give us only the close table, right? The prices for the close table. And again, here we just want the last price, right? The 190. So what I can do here, I can just go and type iLock. So for now, just write -1. That is same indexing, right? So if I write -1, it will give me the last value. So when I hit shift enter, we get the 190. Correct? So similarly, so what we are doing here in this example, we'll use this here. So data download, and I'll change to tickers. So self symbol will provide while we are executing the whole code. That time you can provide Apple, Microsoft, or whatever you want. 1 month, 1 year, and this can also be changed to 1 minute, 5 minutes, 1 hour, and whatever you want. So when I hit shift enter here, it says me expected colon. So now what we can do, we can write a conditional statement here. So how we can achieve that? If not data.empty, then what we'll do here, we'll take the close and the last row. So for that, I lock its index location. I'll explain you in the pandas section. Right now, what we can do, we can write data, and here it will be the close, right? The table with the close and dot iLock, and here I can write -1. I can write here a code for the empty list. So it will be the price data is equals to an empty list, and here I think we are missing one underscore, and after that what it will do, it will append to this empty list. So self dot. Now what we can do, we can write another conditional statement, that is if the length of this empty list for now, but after like we run the program, the data from the Yahoo will be appended here. So if so it will print out the long window we have given, right? Then what it will do, it will just pop the value at the, then what it can do, it can print fetched new price data, and then it can give the variable as price, right? This one, the data frame value, right? Else what it can do, it can write else it can print no data fetched, right? Now what we can do, we can write another method and that will run all the classes. So we will call the method fetch, this one, the fetch price data. So fetch, right? And then what we will do, we'll call this strategy class with this object here. Earlier we were passing the manual list, but here now we have the data from the Yahoo and it will create the list. So we can pass here the list, right? The automatic list, this one, this price data, right? So this list will be here and we can give it the, it will be the signal, right? Means it will return the buy, sell or hold. Then what it will do, it will print that generated signal, and here you can give the signal, correct? Then now we use the membership operator. So if signal in, and let's give it a list, sell, right? We create a list here, sell by, and we know that this will return a signal. It could be sell, buy or hold. If that string is existing in this string, in this list, then what will happen? It will create the object of the class trade, right? So we have this class here, right? The my trade, this one. So it will create the object for this. So my trade, we write here. Then we pass the arguments. So you can check what are the arguments here. Strategy name, signal and amount. So this is the strategy name, self.strategy. So we'll pass here, and then we have the signal. So for signal we'll write, and amount for now we can give 1, right? Then what we will do, we will just execute the method execute, and we also call the method self API. So I can just copy this one. So this is also the object, and from here I can call the place order, right? Place order. So here we will pass the object trade, and the price will be the data frame, the last price, right? The last item of this list. So for that we have to write, and then we'll give the negative indexing here, correct? Now what we will do, we'll create the same for these private attributes. We'll create the getter methods. So I'll just go here and I'll copy and paste this quickly. I'll paste here 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now let's take these values as this is the API. So I'll go ahead and change this to API, and this is also API. Again, this is strategy. So and strategy, and now this is symbol. So I'll change it to symbol. Now we just need to call these, and for that you have like multiple options. You can use the if name main function also here. For now we just simply call this and test whether it is working fine or not on the live data, right? So for that what we need to do, now we have to provide these values. The symbol, it can be Apple, it can be Microsoft, it can be Bitcoin, Ethereum. Then we have to create the objects of these classes, the API, the mock trading API class, then the strategy class, and then the trading system class, right? So let's go to another cell and let's do that. So what we will do, I'll just remove all these things for now because not required. So everything will be removed. Let's first run all these cells and check whether it's working fine or not. And yeah, it is working fine. So let's first give the symbol value, right? So what we'll do, let's test with the symbol. We'll create the object of the API class. So we know that the API is here, the mock trading API. So what we can do, we can go here and write API, the object name, and then I'll write the class name, and then we can pass the. So what we can do, we can write like balance equals to, we can let's say 10,000. Then we need to create the object for the class strategy, right? So let's go up, and we know that this is our strategy class. this one, and here we have to pass the short window and long window, right? So I'll just copy this and I'll pass the short window, let's say 3, and long window, let's make it 5. Correct? Then the last but not the least we have is the trading system. So for the trading system, I'll create system is equals to, and again go back to the system, and here we need to provide the API strategy and symbol. So I'll just copy here and I'll paste, and we know that we already have all the values here. So for API, I can just pass here API. So I'm passing this object as an argument here. Then we have strategy. So I'll just copy and paste it here. And now we have the symbol. So for symbol, I'll write SYMBOL. Right. So now when I hit shift enter, so now what happens in the live system that we are able to continuously fetch the market data from any exchange, and then we are able to process that data also, right? For that, to simulate that, we will write a small for loop here. Let's say for underscore in range. So we use this underscore like when we do not want to give any value, right? And range, let's make it, for now we can make it any, but I just write 3. So 0, 1, 2, right? For underscore in range, let's say we just want 3 times 3 iterations, so 3. Then what I can do, I can run the system dot run method. So you know that we have created this run method here. Inside this trading system, we had this run method and it was integrating all the classes. So we will run this system method 3 times, right? So now we'll just print the, right, in that we had the remaining balance, right? So you can go there, and now we can also give the time dot sleep, like how much time it will wait, and then again we'll run this function. So for now I'm just giving 2 seconds, right? So for this I also need to import the time here. So we'll go here and import time and hit shift enter. Now what we'll do, we'll run all the functions here, and my trading system is the, and we have this symbol here, and now it says yeah. So you can see here it is running in every 2 seconds, and it will check and it will like say the signal hold, and then remaining balance it will show. So for now it is showing hold. We need to check something inside this, and that's very easy. I'll just post this code on the GitHub, and you can let me know in the comments what could be done to make this work fine. If you're not able to find the issue, we'll discuss this in the future lectures. But for now, this was the basic idea that we have a full-fledged Python trading bot, and it's really awesome. With just few basic concepts, we are able to make this. And now you can imagine when we'll be creating the trading system with whole Python concepts, it will be really amazing. So we'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye, take care, have a nice day. It's already been a long video and I do not want to stretch this more. And for any queries, we'll discuss later, and we will also debug this. For now, it's working fine. And we just need to find that how we can get like buy or sell signals here. I think there is some slight issue. We can resolve that. That's not a big deal, right? So then see you, take care, bye bye, have a nice day.